Hello everyone, Hachadino over here, and as you always know, you can like my video, subscribe in any of the cats that is on the site, and also, as you might expect, we have a cool, in this case, let's say sheet that you can always access, where there's a lot of information about the different builds of Subrogue and other interesting things that may spike your interest. Now, for the main topic of the video, we are going to talk about which of the hero talents for Sublety would we use in different bosses. This may change depending on the needs of your raid, but for the most part, if there is any cliff, you might prefer Trickster. Of course, if your raid has a lot of cliff already and you can kind of ignore the needed to do it, you can always go Deathstalker. Deathstalker, as you might expect, is the highest single target damage hero talent we have right now as solid. The build will not change though, even if there is some, let's say, idea to play replicating shadows on, for example, court or other place. I don't think it's really a good idea to do that, because when you are playing Trickster, losing Weapon Master or Inevitability or things like that, or even Swift Death, can make you lose a lot of damage. Now, as for the bosses where you would play Deathstalker, I do recommend playing Deathstalker or Trickster on the first boss, depends on the cliff that you need. As you might know, there are some changes in Mythic that make it so mobs are a little bit um, stronger, and you may want to kill this faster. There is, apart from the roundness spawn, the bile soaked spawn. You know, this one kind of explodes and does other things, and also drops the viscera to make Ulgrax go out of the scene. One thing to also know about that boss is, as because it goes into the ground at 1 minute 30, you may want to use the season 3 or season 4 tech that we used the last expansion, where you use Vanish, then you go into dance, you use flagellation, you go into dance, and then after secret technique, that being the first finisher, you will shadow blades and keep on going. I will make a video about that if I feel that it's kind of good. If not, just ignore that. Now let's go for Bloodbound Horror. There is really no reason to go Deathstalker on this fight. There is constant cliff, and there is a mechanic, so let's say there is no way for people to like super kill the mobs really fast. Also in Mythic there is the Blood Curdle that makes them kind of annoying, but that doesn't change the damage that you have to do, and it's also really useful to be able to hit the main target that the tank has, and then you also hit the other one, and even the smallies, making it a lot easier for your raid. Now for Sik'ran, there is no aspect where there is any cliff, so you will play Deathstalker on this fight. There is not much to say apart from in Mythic there is an extra Nova and other things that you may need to talk about, but that's better just watch a guide about that. The jumps and other things, you want to actually track them because they can interrupt your dance cadence. You may need to hold sometimes a little bit of dance. For Rashanan, in heroic and normal, the ads usually don't last that long, but even then, I would recommend Trickster just because of the, let's say, free cliff that you are getting. And if you go Deathstalker, um, there is not even that much extra power that you have. Of course, that may change in Mythic because, as you know, you have the other webs making it harder for people to actually do things, and you may need to maybe single target some ads or something like that. That also it's good for Trickster. So I do recommend Trickster, but if your raid is super stacked with cliff people and you are not doing Mythic, or even you are doing Mythic but you have super cliff or Fury Warriors, Enhancement Shamans, and some Hunters and Arcane Mage also does free cliff and other things, you want to go Deathstalker just to have extra damage on the boss. Also, you have a little bit of better funnel because, as you may know, Deathstalker has more mechanics that make your eviscerate do damage. If you can make it do damage faster, then Brute Twister, you are going to 100% play Trickster on this fight. If you are hitting the boss, you are hitting the ads. If you are hitting the big ads, you are also hitting the ads and maybe even the boss if they don't them kind of near. There is not much more to say. Nexus Princess, here it's 100% Deathstalker. You get extra power on that, and even you get one extra defensive that is really valuable. Remember, right now we are playing Ethereal Clock because there's a bug that makes these proc flensing knives giving us more DPS, but if it's available, I will play bait and switch so that your evasion also works with the damage that the shadows do, that being of course magical, and I would play elusiveness instead of cheat death because even on heroic, most of the time where you get to 10% HP, there is a lot of damage going on, then you proc cheat death and you die on the same global because of the bug that everyone kind of knows already. Now for court, the Silken Court, this is also a 100% Trickster fight. You can hit both of the bosses when they are close, and you can even hit the ads while hitting the boss, and even hit the boss when he has his damage amp, and if there are ads around, they take extra damage thanks to that. Now, for Ansurek, I've only done the normal and heroic part of these fights. I've only seen. In the case, it's 50-50 between Deathstalker and Trickster. Some group comps have a lot of problems with ads, so you go Trickster. Some comps have super good cleave and super single target focus damage, and then you can go Deathstalker to do extra damage to the boss. That is your choice. I do prefer to plug and play Trickster until I see my group is ready enough to kill all the ads in a timely manner. Then I can go Deathstalker to do that extra bit of damage. So that was everything. The build itself, as I said before, doesn't change much. It's going to be this one in the case that you really want to get replicating shadows for any reason. You have two ways to go about it. You can take inevitability and weapon master off, and then you will go down from perforated veins after you get the points on the replicating shadows. You can do this, or you can get the points from shot in the dark. Then you also get some extra DPS from shadow focus. Then you go downwards. Here you can of course get premeditation or replicating shadows as you want, and then inevitability, and you go down. These are your choice. I'm not going to post the imports for this one because I don't really recommend them, but just so you know that the possibility is there. Of course, the only fights where you will play replicating shadows will be fights that you play with Trickster. Keep that in mind, and then I will see you on the next video.